So you walk into your bank, you get one of these flyers. A couple of clients this past week brought in these flyers, and they have great looking interest rates on them. So what's going on with that? One of the flyers that one of our clients brought in this past week showed an interest rate as high as 3.85% with a little tagline that says, looking for competitive guaranteed rates. Now, what's interesting about that is you're sitting in a bank, right? And you walk into a bank and you've just been handed this flyer, and you see the word guarantee, and you think, oh, that has to be, right, the FDIC, because, right, I'm in a bank. But that's not really the case. The guarantee that they're talking about on this little flyer is from the issuer or insurance company. See, in order to get those higher interest rates, you have to give up something, right? You're not just going to be able to get 3.5%, close to 4%, while still having that FDIC guarantee. The world doesn't work that way, so there has to be something different. And so you give up the guarantee of the FDIC in exchange for the guarantee of the insurance company, because what you're doing with these types of products is a different relationship with that bank than a traditional depositor relationship. There's a big difference to that, and we're going to explain that here in this segment of the program. So welcome to Dollars and Cents, where we help you make sense out of all of life's decisions involving your dollars. Central Florida's longest running radio program, also one of the top 25 financial planning podcasts on the World Wide Web, with over 25,000 downloads of our program. So make sure you subscribe to us on your favorite podcast channel of choice. Go to our website, Nelson Financial Planning, and you can find links directly to those channels on the various platforms. My name, of course, Joel Garris, certified financial planner, certified financial fiduciary at Nelson Financial Planning. So what's the deal with this, right? I mean, you walk into the bank, you see guarantee, but it's not a guarantee from the bank, and it's not a guarantee that's backed up by the FDIC. It's backed up by an insurance company. So what does that mean? Well, at the end of the day, if it's backed up by an insurance company, then it must be an annuity. And you know what? When you hear that word, that's really what you should be thinking about. Fear. Because that's the pitch of all the annuity sales out there. We talked about this on a prior program. Sales of annuities hitting record levels. Guess what? It always happens when the economy is at a slow point. Record levels set that in the second quarter of this year that beat the record that was set in the fourth quarter of 2008. Well, what happened after 2008? Once you got through the fourth quarter, you had a pretty good run, didn't you? Long period of time. Unfortunately, if you put your money into annuity, it was stuck in there with illusory promises that ultimately, oftentimes too good to be true. So what's the downfall? What's the problem? The reality is that, as with any annuity, there's a back-end charge and surrender charge, particularly on these products that are getting advertised with the bank, or at least based upon the flyer that we got, is a 7-year surrender schedule that applies, requiring, in essence, your money be tied up for a 7-year period of time. And when you stop and think about it, that's how the game is played, because in order to offer you interest rates of 3.5%, close to 4%, there's got to be a period of time where they are retaining that money and using that money to ultimately generate that return, or at least they being the insurance company, not the bank, the insurance company that issued the product. And so from that perspective, the only way to really get that return is ultimately, like any investing approach, is over time. So consequently, by taking that money, locking it down for that up to a 7-year period of time, that's how they're able to do that, right? And the mechanism of how they lock that money up, if you will, is because of a massive surrender charge that exists that ultimately is a pretty significant slice of your amount that you invested. When you think about if you need that money in the first year or two, often, and the flyer here lists out the surrender charge schedules based upon the year that you're in. Year 1, year 2, it's going to cost you 6%. Year 3, it's going to cost you 5%. Year 4, it's 4%. Year 5, it's 3%. Year 6, it's 2%. I mean, 6 years out, you still got a 2% charge on being able to access the money. And remember, because this is money sitting at the bank, because this is more often for a lot of folks, their emergency savings, right? So emergency savings doesn't have a 7-year time frame from an investing perspective. Emergency savings is intended to be right there, readily available, readily accessible without some big cost or penalty when you need it. And you don't know whether you need an emergency next month, next year, or 2 or 3 years from now. So tying your money up in something like this on this notion that you're going to make a higher interest rate, we just don't think that's a good call when it comes to your cash, when it comes to your emergency savings. 7 years, a long time. I mean, I'm almost getting out to the point where maybe you should think about investing that money if you really don't need it for a 7-year period of time. The other part of it, and this is an important part as well, and you need to be aware of it, the reality is that interest rates are going up. So if interest rates are going up, at the end of the day, why would I lock my money up for the next 7 years? You don't think interest rates are going to be much higher a year from now? I mean, the Federal Reserve said that, right? So if that's the case, why am I going to lock my money up during a period of time, particularly over the next couple of years, where you're going to have rising interest rates? Better off just sitting waiting it out. Not uncommon, okay? Not that long ago that you saw money market rates at close to 5%. Now, I don't know that we'll get there in the next year or so, but if you get close to that, well then shoot, you don't need to be tying your money up in a product that's going to require you to sit there for a 7-year time horizon. So watch out for that. Remember 2 things on those flyers that you get from your bank. Number 1 is that it is not guaranteed by the bank. It is guaranteed by the insurance company, which makes it an annuity contract. Number 2, the gotcha part is that the money is in fact locked down for up to a 7-year period of time, oftentimes, and ultimately there's big surrender charge schedules that apply when it comes to your money. So watch out for those, particularly when you walk in the bank. Many clients, and 2 just this past week, have shared with us stories about how they get approached on that. So anyway, that's about all for this week's episode of Dollars and Cents. My name, of course, is Joel Garris, Nelson Financial Planning. If you liked what you heard and want to learn more about how our team of certified financial fiduciaries at Nelson Financial Planning can help you change your life with a successful and cost-effective financial plan, go to our website, nelsonfinancialplanning.com, and fill out the Contact Us form to set up an absolutely free conversation. Now, if you're not really internet or website savvy, you can always call our office directly at 407-629-6477. We still actually have humans that answer the phone. And remember, we don't believe in account minimums at Nelson Financial Planning because our purpose is to help you get a financial plan with better results at a lower cost. Have a great day.